Welcome back in our new video. We were talking about tools in our platform. After you vectorize, what are the possibilities on Data Copilot that you can utilize this information into. The next tool that we have is the AI Coder tool. Let me pull that here. Let me connect it here. The idea of AI Coder tool is similar to the Data View tool, but it helps you utilize Python as the base language to communicate with your data, as well as apply complicated functions over the top of it, like masking, data engineering, even machine learning. You can do that directly from the data. So it will interact and connect directly to your database and query your data with an SQL like script and query your database within Python through that SQL, and then pull that information, apply a complicated Python function, and then show that information. So to work with it, the idea is the same. You click on the play icon, you select which database that you want to use. For example, I will use this AdventureWorks for this particular tool only, and I will configure the agent. And the idea of the AI Coder is that you can use multiple databases and apply complicated functions within different databases and merge the information based on your knowledge, as well as interact with different databases, different tables across different databases, and create something a bit more complicated than just SQL, which gives you a limitation of running on one database at a time. So this solves the problem of running or querying multiple databases, multiple tables across multiple databases, and then pulling all that information and combining them and structuring them for you. So let's click on the gear icon, and you will have a similar interface, but there is one discrepancy that you will see here, is that views. And this is because in coding you can choose the views in order to search and apply operations on your data. And as this is not just data discovery, because in data discovery we have limited only to the table, so you have the base line of your database to interact with and create views from the tables directly. But here you can utilize different views and apply methods there. So like I mentioned earlier, that you can choose to add that into prompt, and we will try that in this tool as well. So I have selected one customer list, and I will apply an operation. For example, I want to mask my customers PII with MD5 encoding. For example, it's a basic thing that we usually do before we proceed forward, and I want to do that using Python. And let's run this query, ask this question, and see what AI Coder does. Let's wait for a few seconds, as it's only limited to this one view, and I want to show you that how you can limit your query into this particular tool as well, and how does it incorporate that information and restrict itself or ground itself to just that part of information. And here you go, it has generated a complete Python solution to mask your customers PII. You can read about that. The code connects to your AdventureWorks database and mask sensitive data, first name and this, and let's see that into the editor. It's the same concept. You can edit this here as well. Sometimes if there are any bugs, if you're a programmer, you can check and debug this directly from here, or if you are satisfied with the result, you can click on the run code, and it will run this code and return a set. So you can see that and the company name and salesperson and first names, all of that information was back into my view. And so it has added or restricted all of that customer's information and masked everything, all the PII. And you can save this checkpoint. So this checkpoint won't be saved back into your database, because in Python you can create complicated data structures, and you want to make sure that your data supports the data structure, and they sometimes cannot be a tabular or as we say that, like an SQL table, but they can be complicated structures like nested tables or with objects and stuff like that. And for this we have ensured that users can provide their own S3 bucket, and this information can be saved there, or they can use the default provided S3 bucket in our platform, which they choose to do that, and this will securely save and encrypt all of that information with their own specific S3 bucket that would be provisioned for each individual users as they sign up for this platform. And they can choose this save checkpoint, for example, masked information, masked customer data. And the reason for this is that in data science or in data science pipelines, you need to use this information for the next steps, not just save it back to the table and then retrieve it once again. And once you do that, we have other nodes that you can connect with this one and apply the next operations. And within this video, let me show you another similar operator or similar node that we call data processing. And data processing can connect to an AI coder or to a data pool, and the idea is the same, but it connects with an already saved S3 data checkpoint. And you can see that this is passed down from the previous node, checkpoint mask customer data, and then you can apply the next step here. For example, reduce, let's do something crazy. For example, let me company name, let's say sports companies, right? Bikes and motorbikes. Okay, let's do a filtering. From my checkpoint, let's filter companies with sports in their name. All right, and let's do that. Let's do something like a string matching to filter out the companies with only that information. And I just want to show you that from the previous checkpoint you can include that into this, and you can check it. So it's using the masked customers data, and you can run it and see that, okay, only the companies with the sports in their name are filtered. And then you can save these checkpoints as well, sports companies, and save this checkpoint. And you can utilize this in many ways. And the interesting thing is that data processing node can have multiple inputs. For example, I can even do this thing, and I can let me show you another node quickly, which is very relevant to this one, is the data pool. Data pool works as pulling a view or a table directly from your data and parking it on an S3. So the data processing nodes can use that. For example, you can click on the gear icon. I can choose the for example, AdventureWorks final. I can choose a table, and let's choose the product table. and pull this data, and this data will be pulled and parked on the S3 bucket that is provisioned only for you. So this is a similar concept that sometimes we do in data science pipelines, that we pull the information and then apply different operations. And if I go into this particular node, I will see that there are these three things that are inputted here, and you can see the details that this is the data that is passed from the previous one, this is the product table, and this is the one data processing node and an AI coder node. And you can ask another question and incorporate all this information into one Python code, and you can create different complicated pipelines using this, and this helps you create a very visual data pipeline or very visual data automation that has a concept similar to Jupyter Notebook. But as we all know, that when you're interacting with Jupyter, it's really hard to keep track of each cell because it's like a linear path and you have to go back and forth and pull the data multiple times. But here you already know, and the good thing about that is that you can change the name of data processing as well. For example, I can say sports filtering, and yeah, this will be shown here, and you can utilize this information to create a very nice annotated complete data pipeline. So these are some of the tools that help you create, transform, utilize data engineering with the help of AI agents that help you code, help you discover data, and create different complicated as well as automation pipelines with your data using a gateway, which is a vectorizer, and benefit you in many ways and accelerate and catalyze your task with the help of agentic AI that supports you in creating SQL queries, in creating code. And you can here serve as an engineer which can create all of these pipelines using just your creativity. So this is the concept of all of these tools that are available, and we'll talk about the agents and how to deploy agents in our next video.